Welcome to another session of Sean McCarthy Business Coaching's Be Profitable, Be Happy. This is in partnership with your local chamber. And as always, we are recording these sessions. For those of you on live, hold your questions until the very end and we'll have a session off the air. But for right now, let's get to it and have a very short, tight, powerful presentation for those of you with me now live and for those listening by themselves because they're busy doing other things and hopefully being very successful. So, the 7 laws of personal branding. Previously, we've talked about your company, your corporate branding, and why that is so important and powerful. We've talked about the levels of customer satisfaction. We've talked about the 7 P's of marketing. We are going to talk about something as a small business owner. I believe there's nothing more important, and that's you. You are the product. You are the service. You are the personal brand. And I really want you to understand this. When you're the owner of a business or you're the senior leader in a business, whether it's your employees, the general public, your customers, the way you present and hold yourself at all times, privately and publicly, is ultimately a reflection of who you are as an operator and whether or not I, as the consuming public, want to do business with you. Do I trust you? Do I like you? Do I believe I'm going to have a service that is integral, respectful, full of integrity, and will honor the relationship that I want to experience, and will I receive the kind of quality product and service that I desire? So the objective today as we go through this is to help us go through the 7 laws so that we're each able to build and sustain a positive, powerful personal brand, which will allow us to sell more product faster, easier than ever before. You are going to be able to overcome objections surrounding price issues because of the fact that people want to work with you. They know who you are. You've been a leader in the industry. You've helped others. You're respected. Your opinion counts. You're valued in the community. And it's a point of personal pride and prestige to be able to do business with you. Consequently, price is not a primary focal point by which I'm going to make my decision. I want to do business with you because I value it, being rewarded by the great integrity and knowledge you're going to bring to the table for that particular product or service. This, of course, will continue to have repeat business. It's customer loyalty. And from these delighted customers, not just meeting the expectations, but surpassing them, astonishing, delighting, exceeding expectations, we're going to get a robust referral system, thereby strengthening our overall marketing plan and our success. And again, that's going to allow us to be even more profitable, live a more fulfilled and happy life because we're not having to work incredibly long hours just to meet expectations. We're exceeding them. And that's a big part of developing our personal brand. People come in and expect great service and are just thrilled to be able to work with professionals such as yourself. And you're all going to do this by developing your own personal brand. So, we talked about in previous sessions the levels of customer satisfaction. Here, you again are the product and the service. There are 2 elements of your personal brand, the 7 laws support. And unmet expectations, there's nothing more damaging. And this goes to communication. Make sure you understand, you may feel you've communicated something to your customer, to that person that you have a relationship with, but oftentimes through the communication jumble, the clarity is not there. Expectations may be greater than what you had communicated in your mind, but to the customer and to this important person in your life, expectations were wildly different. We need to always make sure that we clearly communicate, and that kind of goes in with these 2 elements of your personal brand. Promises made, perceptively, factually, whatever your perception might be, make sure you have clarity on what those promises are and that you keep those promises. And inevitably, you will fall short. And when you do, own it. Be authentic, own it, and make it right. There's nothing more important in business than these 2 elements in your personal brand. Promises made, promises kept. Unmet expectations will happen. Fix it, resolve it, that will never happen again. Go forward and succeed. Do not dwell on this. It happens to all of us. So, does that make sense? Good. Let's get into the laws. Number 1, law of specialization. You know, I talk with so many of you business owners out there, and we always talk about who is your who. Well, it's anyone who will pay me, right? I always laugh about that. It's no different in your business. I'm fond of thinking of Burger joints. How many times have we seen a very successful commercial burger enterprise start doing fish, start doing roast beef, start doing breakfast, start doing midnight snacks, etc., etc.? They can be successful if they have scale. But when you're a small business owner, one of the key facets to developing a strong personal brand is eschewing, it might seem risque to do, but eschewing the siren call of diversification. Specialize. If you're a banker, specialize in commercial loans centered around affordable housing or office buildings. If you're a realtor, focus on a particular niche, maybe first-time home buyers or large grand homes. Know who specifically in the marketplace you want to work with and develop an expertise centered around a very narrow specialized area. If you're into products that are related to home improvements, focus on a niche. You might have others that offer synergistic services. Let them be the expert, align there where you can drive some revenues, but focus on a very tight area. So it can be industry specific, product, a service, a skill. Become very knowledgeable, become the expert in that area. And you'll see in one of the other laws that ties in. So again, specialize, be very narrowly focused, know who your who is, and when someone comes in that doesn't meet your area of specialization, it's not a loss. You're still going to, as part of your personal brand, take very good care of them and take them to an ally or a strong other company that can provide that particular product or service. All you want to do is solve other people's problems. That's what we're in the business to do, is to bring joy and happiness to others and solve their problems. If we can't do it in a commercial way, that's fine. Help them solve their problem. Law of specialization, very important. Again, small business owners, you cannot be all things to all people. So, law 2, the law of leadership. When we talk about leadership, we may think of a military nature, or you're the CEO of a company. What we're talking about here as a small business owner is always working to get better at your particular enterprise. Learn more, continue to study, develop better skills, develop better habits, go take classes, take leadership workshops, if you're into a particular field that requires scientific expertise, go take classes and sessions. If you're a realtor, if you're a general contractor, continue to learn best practices and study to become better at what it is you do. If you install products, you're a plumber, you're an electrician, make sure you're going out and learning new types of materials that are coming into the workplace, and again, best practices. So always be the best. This is going to be important when we get specialization and then leadership, being an expert in our field. Strive to always continually be better. It will set you apart, and people will go to you. Even if I have clients who are electricians, who people come to them for plumbing issues because they trust them. They figure that they know who to go to. By building up that strong feeling of allegiance to you as a business owner, you are now referring out business to your allies, that hopefully the law of reciprocity will see that come back to you. Super important. So again, become a leader in your field. Continue to improve. Law of personality. This goes without saying. There's a client I have, you can walk into his shop, has a wonderful personality. However, there are some times when the stress can be overwhelming. Remember that we all go through it. How many times when things are going well, we got a smile on our face, a kick in our step, and we're taking care of the customer. We're positive, we're pleasant, we're happy to deal with the transaction, the customer's happy, but inevitably stress comes in. Remember, always be in that pleasant, graceful mode as when everything's going right, despite how bad things are going. If you need to take a time out for 30 seconds and go into a dark room in the back office and get the frustrations out, do so. Do not show that to your customer, to the public, and frankly to your employees, to your family, anybody else. We really want to work on developing ways to limit that ugliness that comes in all of us when stress starts putting pressure on us. So be truthful, have integrity in all your dealings. I like using the word grace. Show grace. Bad things are going to happen. People are going to be upset. Understand, empathize, help them solve the problem, though it may harm you initially in a commercial transaction. There's nothing more important than resolving that, getting beyond it, making it right, and going forward. Law of personality. Again, everywhere you go, even when you're off work and you go out for dinner with your family, be positive. You're representing your brand. The way you dress, your appearance, the way you carry yourself, be confident, be courageous, be competent, be happy, be genuine, And if you're not feeling that way, go rest, take a load off, read a book, recharge, refresh. We do not want to go out showing negative emotions. That will do incredible damage to our brand. We're either contributing to the power of our brand or we're taking away. Let's make sure that we avoid those times when we're deducting. Law 4, the law of distinctiveness. So, it seems like it might be specialization, but distinctiveness is really talking about, I have some clients that have vehicles and they wrap it and they all have a certain logo and they're all uniform, they're white with a logo, and everyone in town knows them. I have clients that have their employees wear uniforms. I actually today, prior to this session, I saw the Geek Squad trucks. They're Geek Squad trucks and they have their uniform, right? The khaki pants, the blue shirts with the Geek Squad. Having that distinctiveness, whatever it might be, maybe you have, I go to a bank here in Reno, and the bankers all wear ties and the ladies dress in very professional decor. That is a distinct nature. I'll go into other financial institutions, they're not quite as well coiffed, quite as well dressed. So when I walk into this bank, I feel it's elegant. It's very, very pleasant. The decorations are nice. The staff's very professional. And it makes me feel confident that my monies are being well administered. So the law of distinctiveness, it could be that you send cookies out after a closing on a real estate transaction. It could be a jingle that you have for your radio or TV advertisement or your print media. But be distinctive and be consistent. We'll see this here later. Be consistent. Develop your brand, develop your distinctiveness, and stick with it. If it's not working, well, we can talk about that. But typically, even corn sells, right? Cheese sells, as they say. So even if it's a little awkward at first, trust me, if you're providing great service, you're an expert in your field, people will remember. We can all remember the cornball slogans from our youth. We still sing them today. Law of visibility. Be seen repeatedly and consistently. Join civic organizations. If you're in a professional group, go to those events. Learn from them. Be jovial. Be friendly. Be agreeable to folks. If that's not your style, that's okay. Just smile. Shake hands. Introduce yourself. You don't have to be the life of the party and giving presentations. But one-on-one personal contacts, a good firm handshake, give your card, ask how they're doing, how is their business. Go out to the community. Go out to eat. And when you go out to eat, every opportunity, I don't care if I'm buying gas, if I'm going into a grocery store, if I'm going into a butcher shop, a baker, wherever I may go, it's an opportunity for me to express my personal brand and to reach somebody and let them know who I am. I dress in a distinctive way, and I interact with people in a distinctive way. I want people to go, who is that person? And if they do engage and they get my card, I want to be memorable. The law of visibility. Make sure you're out there. You are, as I put down at the bottom, the ambassador of your brand. You are always on 24/7. Consider yourself almost, as I said, the ambassador of the brand, the president. You are the president of your brand. Number 6, the law of congruence. Super important. I alluded to it earlier. Don't be a poser. I have here the analog is Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods gave us his all-American profile, this hardworking, clean living, very serious young man who wanted to achieve greatness. That's true. He somewhat, for marketing purposes, made us believe that he was, again, Captain America, the quintessential American. And unfortunately, he had a fall from grace. None of us are perfect. I'm not here to judge. The point is, he has done so much damage to his brand, though he is a phenomenal achiever, that he was inauthentic. And that's what you look up Tiger Woods, and you look up inauthentic in the dictionary, they're right there. It's a great analog for someone who was posing, who was not who he portrayed himself to be. And when he was exposed, it did horrific damage, not only to his brand, but to his personal life. And frankly, it's going to be something he'll never, O.J. Simpson, another one. These are things that you don't recover from. Be congruent. Be who you are in private as you are portraying yourself. You shouldn't be portraying as being. Be who you are. If you're a happy-go-lucky guy, great. If you're a private, quiet lady, that's fine too. That's who you are. Be your brand. Be professional. Represent that. No more damage than not being congruent. Law of persistence, last law. And once you have this personal brand, sustain it, give it time to grow, commit to it like cement, in the minds of the public. They should, if you are the happy person that's jovial and patting people in the back and buying people, lunches or taking people out for coffee or a cocktail, that's who you are. It's terrific. If you're a very professional, contrite accountant, and I have one of those, wonderful. That's your brand. That's who you are. Those other laws will come into play, but be who you are. Don't try to be something you're not. Don't change your branding methodology. Remember the Coke? We had the classic Coke, and they brought the new Coke. They tried to be something different. That was also changing the product, but it's a good analog for doing something to maybe try to improve your brand. You are who you are. Stick with it, especially in small business. If you do want to make a change, then we can talk about that and develop a strategy by which to maybe, if we're looking to scale or change or dramatically shift markets, we can talk about that. But otherwise, stay consistent, believe in who you are, and go forward with developing that consistency in the minds of the public. So strong brand, as we said at the outset, our goal here is to make sure we build trust. We know who we are. We're authentic. We're going to act a certain way. The way we present ourselves is who we are. We're going to have, this is going to allow us to have loyalty, referrals. We're going to be able to overcome pricing when we inevitably have to raise prices. People will not question and go shop. They're going to believe in us because we've given them delightful, astonishing, great service, and they trust us, and they know we're an expert in our field, and they're happy to do business. In fact, proud to do business with us. How many of you, there are people, whether it's vehicles you buy or restaurants you go to, you're just proud. Wow, I was at such and such place. What a great place to do business. You're proud. That's what you want. That's what you want to strive for. People will go to you, as I mentioned with my electrician friend, who should I use for my drywall? Who should I use for my plumbing? What do you think about this? What do you think about that? Because they're so trusted and so valued in their community. So remember, everything you do counts, every action, every inaction. I'll spare you, but remember, when you're on display, when you're in the public domain, everything you do will either enhance or detract from your brand. Every word you utter, every action must be consistent with your brand. So if you master these laws, think about it, and I want you as an activity, for those of you listening and not listening live, through each law, what is it specifically that you're going to do to maximize the return on these laws? These are laws. These are not variables. These are truths that if you follow them in the intent of the law, you will have incredible success and be richly rewarded. So be profitable, be happy. Look forward to seeing you very soon. McCarthy out.